The accident that started everything. Rhys Cormac had survived many dangerous things. He had survived a reactor leak that melted half an engine room. He had survived a full oxygen shutdown during a solar storm. He had even survived eating protein cubes labeled Berry Delight that tasted like wet cardboard. But nothing in his life prepared him for the moment his hand accidentally touched the most powerful alien diplomat on Helix Prime. It was not heroic. It was not romantic. It was gravity. The corridor was crowded. A cargo drone drifted too close. Rhys stumbled forward, and his hand lightly tapped the lower back of Ambassador Vira. Time stopped. Not slowed. Stopped. The noise of the station faded into silence. Even the overhead lights seemed to dim in fear. Vira froze mid-step. Her long silver-blue ears lifted slightly. Slowly, very slowly, she turned her head. Rhys felt his soul leave his body. "I'm so sorry," he blurted out so fast that the translation panel on the wall glitched twice. Vira turned fully toward him. Her skin shimmered blue under the corridor lights. Her violet eyes studied him with perfect calm. She did not look angry. That made it worse. "Was that action deliberate?" she asked smoothly. "Or are you naturally unstable?" Rhys swallowed. "Mostly unstable, A few nearby traders gasped. One security guard quietly stepped backward. Instead of calling her guards, Vira tilted her head. "You are the human who repaired the oxygen recyclers 3 cycles ago." Rhys blinked. "Yes. That was mostly luck. 3,000 lives benefited from that luck." She stepped closer. "You will walk with me." It was not a request. Whispers in the corridor. The corridors of Helix Prime were always loud. But now they were loud in a different way. Whispers followed them. "That's him. The human engineer. Is that a bonding ritual?" Rhys tried to walk normally. He immediately walked into a floating advertisement for plasma polish. Vira did not laugh. But one of her guards did. "You are easily distracted," she observed. "I prefer to think of it as dynamic awareness." She stared at him. "It is not." They walked through glowing halls filled with alien merchants, diplomats, and traders from dozens of systems. Everyone moved out of Vira's way. She carried quiet authority. The kind that did not need to shout. "Your species," she said calmly, "does not fear embarrassment." "Oh, we do," Rhys replied. "We just survive it loudly." For a brief second, her ears shifted upward. Amusement. The observation deck. They reached the observation deck. The massive window showed a golden nebula drifting across the stars. Silence settled between them. Vira stood perfectly still. "You humans are unpredictable," she said. "That's a polite way to say chaotic." "In my culture," she continued, "an accidental touch is seen as fate's interference." Rhys nearly choked. Interference? Yes. The universe introducing 2 paths. He stared at the stars. "I would prefer the universe introduce me to a winning lottery ticket." Vira looked at him differently then. Not as a diplomat. As a person. "I am watched at all times," she said quietly. "Judged. Measured. Evaluated." Rhys nodded slowly. "Yeah. That sounds exhausting." She studied him again. "You do not treat me like a symbol. You don't act like one." That answer surprised both of them. For the first time, she looked less alone. The summons. The next morning, Rhys woke to chaos. His holo tablet would not stop chiming. Messages flooded in. "Did you bond with her? Are you engaged? Run." He groaned and rolled out of bed. Then a formal message appeared. "Ambassador Vira requests your presence aboard her vessel." He stared at the screen. Of course she does. The crystal ship. Vira's ship did not look mechanical. It looked alive. Blue crystal panels curved smoothly around a glowing core. The walls inside pulsed softly, like breathing. Rhys felt judged by architecture. Vira waited near a tall chamber glowing with shifting light. "Our gravity harmonizer is unstable," she said. "Ah, my favorite words." Inside the chamber, Gravity shifted wildly. 1 second he felt heavy. The next, weightless. He nearly floated into the ceiling. Vira caught him by the arm effortlessly. Your species struggles with variable gravity. We prefer floors that commit to a direction. They worked together. Rhys adjusted energy frequencies with human tools. Vira manipulated alien controls that responded to her touch. It became a rhythm. Human instinct. Alien precision. Then suddenly, the chamber sealed shut. Gravity stabilized. They were alone inside. Very close. The air felt warmer. Rhys cleared his throat. So, does this happen often? No. Good. Silence. Then Vira spoke softly. You acted without fear yesterday. I acted without balance. That is not the same thing. He looked at her, and for the first time, he saw not a diplomat, but a woman tired of carrying entire star systems on her shoulders. The doors reopened, but something had shifted between them. Sabotage. Helix Prime changed overnight. Security increased. Whispers turned serious. A rival delegation had arrived. Energy distortions appeared in the station's core. Sabotage. Vira summoned him again. I require a technical advisor. You have entire teams. You are the one I trust. That stopped him. They entered the station's power grid. Energy flickered strangely. Reality itself seemed unstable. A patrol drone scanned them and malfunctioned. Rhys whispered, even machines get nervous around you. They respond to certainty, she replied. You've never met human software. They traced the sabotage deeper into maintenance tunnels. The air smelled burnt. Energy pulsed through exposed conduits. Rhys crouched near a panel. Phase disruptor. Illegal tech. Vira's expression hardened. The rival faction possesses such devices. Suddenly, a masked figure stepped from the shadows. A weapon raised. Her negotiations end today. Rhys did not think. He stepped in front of Vira. He did not feel brave. He felt terrified. But he stood there anyway. The weapon fired. Rhys slammed a random control panel. A magnetic shockwave burst outward. The attacker was thrown back. Weapon disabled. Silence. Security rushed in moments later. The threat was over. Aftermath. Vira stood very still. Her guards secured the saboteur. Officials flooded the area. But she only looked at Rhys. You placed yourself between me and danger. I panicked in your direction. That is still courage. Her voice lowered. In my culture, protecting one introduced by fate carries meaning. Rhys swallowed. What kind of meaning? Her violet eyes held his. The kind that is not spoken lightly. A human difference. Negotiations continued. Peace was secured. The rival faction withdrew in humiliation. Helix Prime returned to normal life. But not everything was the same. People treated Rhys differently. Not as a joke. Not as clumsy. But as someone who mattered. He felt it too. Something had changed inside him. He walked taller. Spoke stronger. Believed more. The farewell. On Vira's final night before departure, Rhys returned to the observation deck. The golden nebula shimmered outside. He heard soft footsteps behind him. Vira joined him. For what you did, she said quietly, my people will remember. I just pressed a button. You chose to stand. Silence filled the space. In our tradition, she continued, bonds formed through shared danger are sacred. He looked at her. And what does that mean for us? Her ears lifted slightly. It means the universe rarely makes mistakes. Her ship was ready. She turned toward the exit. Then paused. If fate brings us together again, I will not ignore it. Rhys smiled. I won't either. She gave him a rare, personal bow. Then she left. Ending. Rhys watched her ship detach from the station. The crystal vessel drifted into the stars. For a long moment, he stood alone. Then his holo tablet chimed. A secure message. From Vira. Human engineering may rely on chaos. But I have learned something. So does destiny. Reese laughed softly. Maybe the universe did have a sense of humor. Maybe it pushed people together in strange ways. But this time, it had pushed a human forward. Not into disaster. Not into embarrassment. But into something greater. And somewhere in deep space, a powerful diplomat was thinking of a clumsy engineer who chose courage. Fate, it seemed, was not finished yet. The message that changed everything. 3 weeks after Vira left Helix Prime, Reese Cormac was back to normal life. Normal meant broken pipes. Normal meant loud traders. Normal meant pretending he did not check the docking ring every morning. He told himself it was fine. Diplomats left. Engineers stayed. That was how the galaxy worked. Then his holo tablet chimed. Not the normal station alert. Not gossip. Not maintenance. This signal carried encryption so advanced it made the screen flicker. Reese stared at it. Sender. Ambassador Vira. His heart began to beat faster. He opened it. Only one sentence appeared. Reese. I require your help. Immediately. No details. No explanation. Just that. And attached beneath it. Coordinates. Deep space. Far outside trade routes. Far outside safety. Reese exhaled slowly. This is how humans die in stories, he muttered. Then he grabbed his jacket. A choice only humans make. Helix Prime Security tried to stop him. Those coordinates are in disputed space, one officer warned. Exactly, Reese replied. You are not military. No. You are not trained for combat. No. Then why are you going? Reese paused. He did not fully understand the answer. But he said it anyway. Because she asked. The officer stared at him like he was insane. Maybe he was. But humans had a strange habit. When someone believed in them, they showed up. Even if it was dangerous. Even if it made no sense. Especially then. Within hours, Reese boarded a small transport ship. He set the coordinates. The ship jumped into faster-than-light travel. Stars stretched into lines. And for the first time in his life, Reese was not running from disaster. He was flying toward it. The war nobody announced. When he arrived at the edge of the system, his breath caught. Vira's diplomatic cruiser was damaged. Not destroyed. But scarred. Energy burns lined its crystal surface. Around it floated debris. 3 destroyed ships. Military class. Not pirates. Not random attackers. Official vessels. This was not sabotage. This was war. And it had started quietly. His ship pinged for docking clearance. For a moment, there was no reply. Then, permission granted. He docked quickly. Inside, the once serene corridors were different. Lights flickered. Guards moved with tension. The air smelled faintly metallic. Vira stood at the center command chamber. But she did not look like the calm diplomat from Helix Prime. Her uniform was damaged. Her expression harder. Her ears angled sharply back. When she saw him, she froze. You came, she said quietly. You said immediately. Her violet eyes softened for half a second. Then steel returned. My government has been accused of destabilizing neutral systems. The rival faction has turned others against us. Reese looked at the damage screens. They attacked first. Yes. And now? Now they are convincing the galaxy that we did. Reese frowned. That's insane. Politics often is. The trap. Before Reese could respond, alarm screamed. A massive fleet dropped out of hyperspace. 10 ships. Heavy weapons. Alliance insignias. Not just one rival faction. Multiple. They had formed a temporary coalition. Against her. A transmission opened. A cold alien voice filled the chamber. Ambassador Vira. You are ordered to power down your vessel and submit to investigation. Investigation. Reese knew what that meant. Public trial. Political destruction. Maybe execution. Vira stood tall. I will not submit to false accusations. Then you will be treated as hostile. The transmission cut. Weapons charged. Reese looked at her. What's the plan? She did not answer immediately. Finally, she spoke. There is none that ensures survival. Reese nodded once. Good. I work better without those. She blinked at him. You are not military. No. You are not a tactician. No. You are smiling. Yes. Why? Because they think you're alone. Human thinking. The fleet fired. Blue plasma beams streaked across space. Vira's ship shook violently. Energy shields flared. Cracks spread along crystal panels. Reese ran to a console. Give me access to external comm channels. Granted. He opened every open frequency. Civilian. Trade. Neutral worlds. Independent stations. This is Reese Cormac of Helix Prime, he broadcast loudly. Yes, I'm the idiot engineer. That one. Static. Confusion. Then listening signals began increasing. These ships attacking Ambassador Vira are doing so without evidence or trial. You all know her record. You all signed treaties with her. You all benefited from her work. Another explosion rocked the ship. He held on to the console. If this is justice, show proof. If this is law, follow it. But if this is fear, then understand something about humans. He swallowed. When you push us into a corner, we push back. Vira stared at him. He was not shouting. He was not dramatic. He was honest. Across the system, neutral ships began recording. Streaming. Watching. The attacking fleet hesitated. Public opinion mattered. Even in space. The hidden weapon. Suddenly, Reese noticed something strange on the tactical map. A power signature. Hidden behind one of the larger ships. Vira, he said sharply. They have a gravity well generator. Her eyes widened. That is illegal under interstellar law. Yeah, well, they skipped law already. If activated, it would trap her ship. No escape. No retreat. He ran calculations fast. We can overload it. How? By making it think it's pulling something bigger. She understood immediately. Your transport ship. He nodded. If I overload my ship's core and send it directly at the generator, it will create a false mass reading. It will destabilize their device. That would destroy your vessel. Yes. Silence. You would be stranded here. He met her gaze. I came here to help, not to watch. For a moment, the diplomat mask dropped completely. What remained was fear. Not for herself. For him. Reese, this is not your war. He smiled slightly. It is now. The human gamble. He sprinted back to his docked transport. Manual override. Core destabilization. He set the course. Launched it. The small ship shot forward like a bullet. The enemy fleet detected it too late. The gravity well generator activated. And immediately overloaded. Space warped violently. The generator exploded in a silent burst of twisted light. Shockwaves rippled through the fleet. Several ships lost formation. Vira's cruiser regained maneuver control. Cheers erupted on her bridge. But it was not over. The largest enemy vessel charged weapons again. They were angry now. Desperate. Reese stood beside Vira. What now? She straightened. Now, we show them why my people survive. She issued rapid commands. Her cruiser shifted position with elegant precision. Crystal panels realigned. Energy redirected. Instead of firing to destroy, she targeted weapon systems only. Precise. Measured. Controlled. One by one, the attacking ships lost offensive power. Disabled. Not destroyed. The message was clear. She could have ended them. She chose not to. The surviving fleet retreated. Not victorious. Not proud. But exposed. Watched by half the galaxy. Silence after battle. The system grew quiet. Debris floated slowly. Vira turned to Reese. You sacrificed your only transport. Yeah. I liked that ship. You risked death. Yeah. Why? He hesitated, then answered simply. Because you don't deserve to fight alone. The words hung in the air. No politics. No strategy. Just truth. Her ears lowered gently. In her culture, that meant deep emotion. You are reckless, she said softly. Very. You are illogical. Constantly. You are extraordinary. That surprised him. I'm just human. Yes, she replied. That is what makes you dangerous. The shift. News of the battle spread quickly. The recording of Reese broadcast went viral across systems. Neutral worlds questioned the coalition's aggression. Several governments demanded investigation. The political tide shifted. Vira was no longer accused. She was defended. Not because of fear. Because of proof. Because of witness. Because one human engineer refused to stay silent. A new offer. Later, in the quiet observation chamber of her damaged ship, Vira stood beside Reese. Stars drifted calmly now. My government has extended you formal protection, she said. That sounds official. It is. They are also offering you a position. He blinked. Doing what? She faced him directly. Advisor. Liaison. Cultural bridge. He laughed nervously. I fix machines. You fix more than that. Silence stretched. You do not have to return to Helix Prime, she continued. You could travel with us. See my world. Stand beside me. His heart pounded. This was bigger than embarrassment. Bigger than accidents. This was choice. The real meaning of fate. Vira, he said quietly. Back on the station you said bonds formed through danger are sacred. Yes. What does that mean, exactly? Her violet eyes held his. It means that when two beings choose to protect one another, it is no longer fate pushing them. What is it then? Decision. She stepped closer. Not as diplomat. Not as ambassador. But as Vira. My people believe destiny introduces paths. But it is courage that walks them. He swallowed. And if I walk it? Then you will not walk alone. Ending. Days later, repairs were complete. A new ship waited at the dock. Not his old transport. But something stronger. He stood at the ramp. Looking back at open space. Looking forward at unknown stars. Helix Prime felt far away now. He turned to Vira. Try not to start another war without me. Her lips curved slightly. I make no promises. He stepped onto the ship. The ramp closed. The engines hummed. As the vessel lifted into the stars, Reese felt something different. Not fear. Not embarrassment. Purpose. The galaxy had tried to silence her. Instead, it revealed something stronger. Human loyalty. Human courage. Human choice. And somewhere deep in the endless dark, two paths no longer moved by accident. They moved together.
Was ist ein ausschlaggebender Punkt, dass er auskondensiert? Einfach nur die
Windgeschwindigkeit. Erkläre ich gleich nochmal.
Da halte ich den Stream. Hat nichts gebracht.
Resub. Frauja ist vom Excel Klaus abonniert für 3 Monate. Resub. Wampis Welt abonniert für 2 Monate.
So, hier wäre unsere Strecke nach Norden gewesen.
East vom Achse.
Aber es sah halt zu dem Zeitpunkt Welt aus, das war halt das Problem. Wir haben ihn nicht mehr gesehen.
Und herzlich willkommen.
Und dann kam noch Tornado Nummer 4 für uns.
Spirenzchen.
Ja, Sebastian packt halt mal gerne seine Kamera in